Right, welcome back. I can tell you something. It's amazing that there's always certain trends. Whenever certain subjects are covered on TNA, the Twitter account just goes crazy. And this particular subject, when it relates to crime in South Africa, it is one of those topics that gets South Africa speaking. So, Peter, I'm going to read a couple of the comments to you, and I know that your guests will also like to respond to a couple of them as well. Comes from Papi Masukela saying, if an SAPS member gets hurt after hours while they're trying to make an arrest, are they covered by the SAPS benefits? There we go. That's one of the questions that have come through. Here's another one. Tando is asking, please ask the minister, where is the University for the Police going to be set up? In which province? That's the question coming through from Tando. All right. Yusuf Abramji doing a comment here saying, there are pockets of excellence within the SAPS, but there is also much hopelessness. All right, that's something perhaps that the panel would like to respond to. That's Yusuf Abramji talking about that. Let's see here. Papi Masukela, I think the police vans should be substituted by horse riding to eradicate romance acts by male officers on duty. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I can see everybody laughing there. I'm trying myself not to laugh. So Papi suggesting that all our police ride horses as opposed to cars to eliminate romance. It's scary. But anyway, a quick question to the minister. Evangelist Mboyani writing and saying, I was arrested for common assault 9 years ago, and everywhere I apply, it appears I have a criminal record. Well, Evangelist, I mean, I think that will stand for the rest of time. And then here's another one, Tabang, saying, Police Minister, do you think that you or your administration has tried to suppress the media from reporting on Nkandla? I'm not sure if that applies right now, but nonetheless, I am posing the question. Tabang, that's what she's saying. And then finally, Papi Masukela saying, police recruits age limit should be 40. Many people would love to serve in this department if it was only because of the age. There's so many more, but I've just literally read one page. I could refresh and read another 10 pages, but I'm sure you'll come back to us again. So let me throw back to you again. Horses instead of cars? Minister, what do you reckon? Minister, what do you reckon?
Leanne, thank you very much indeed. So, horses instead of cars, but it does raise a very important concern, and that's the conduct of some police officers, whether it's dealing with sex workers or maybe each other, I don't know, but conduct unbecoming can sometimes come through. And this is, I guess, what really is behind this question.
Well, yes, I took it that way, but I also thought it talks to the abuse of resources within SABS. It's a worrying point. Resources will always be scarce. You will never have enough. So if that which you have, which is little, is being abused, it becomes a problem. We've come across communities who would say exactly police officer so and so is doing this as we interact with the public. And the management of police and the officials have been able to act there. But you see, Peter, the issue of police abuse of the power they have and resources is a worldwide phenomenon. That is why it is always important to have oversight and strengthen oversight. And in South Africa, this is what we've come about to realize and emphasize, particularly in strengthening this oversight body.
Why is it that there's a general attitude that I think there's certain police officers who think that they can get away with some outrageous behavior? We've seen videos that have gone viral, police officers as a team storming a shabin or a pub and beating up patrons. I mean, where in anybody's right mind is that okay? Why do they think that they can do that? Commissioner?
Peter, I think first and foremost, let's debunk this matter. Police are the most powerful people in law enforcement that you can get, because constitutionally, you are bestowed with the right to disenfranchise citizens. We can arrest, many more people cannot. That in itself says we need to have the capacity to live with the power that is bestowed upon us under our skin and use that power in a very rational, professional, and fair way. Would it be a universal capacity? Absolutely not. From time to time, you will find those people who are having inability to do so. But how then are we intervening? Perhaps that's what I should be talking about. You would have heard about the government's efforts to actually ensure that across government departments, there are anti-corruption interventions. Anti-corruption is not only about fraud and theft, but also it's about our own conduct. Because remember, the Constitution in Chapter 10 gives us a value-based way of intervening as civil servants. We as police also have to subscribe to that. So this is why we in the police have actually set up an anti-corruption working group which is looking at both conduct as well as behavior. We will be setting up a very special unit, the Integrity Management Unit, because in that unit we want to deal with those type of issues. When we have those incidences, we must be seen to act, and we must act according to that, because we have prescripts that tell us how to arrest, prescripts that tell us how to raid a shebeen. If you're doing it differently and you are overstepping the mark, we must also have remedies to deal with our own members. So it will always be there, as the minister says, but let us be judged on how we intervene when that happens.
Okay, I want to get quick responses from you for these other tweets that have come through. Yusuf Abramji says there's pockets of excellence, but how do you motivate the rest that are demotivated and perhaps have given up?
Yeah, it's important to say no organization can ever be absolute. I really appreciate the fact that Yusuf, as a very serious activist in our sector, recognizes that we have pockets of excellence. For those, we will sustain and maintain. In areas where we are having hopelessness and weaknesses, we shall continue to labor around that to ensure that we continuously improve ourselves. And we are not denying that. In such circumstances, feedback is the food for any organization that wishes to succeed.
Okay, and where is this university going to be? Which province? Is it going to be a standalone university or attached to a higher tertiary institution?
Well, it would be attached to one of the university, UNISA in particular, and it is in PAL. As I said, it would be opening in January 2014.
Okay. Police officers hurt after hours. This must be a police officer. If he does, I suppose, off-duty arrest in the middle of a crime, is he covered?
I think if a police is a police 24/7, we offer a 24/7 service. And if a police gets to a supermarket and a supermarket is being held to ransom and they intervene, they're doing their work. So we would be able to cover them and look at all those type of issues of duty and on-duty type interventions.
Is there an age limit for people joining the police?
Yes, there is.
Okay, so you have to be under 40. What is the story?
Definitely under 40, but we do have platforms for those who want to. For
so
those
it's too
who
late
are
for me.
If you're going for early enlistment to start training, it may be a little bit, but for lateral infusion, we may be wanting people like you in our communications environment. You can join us.
So does that mean you're under 40, General?
Look, not quite, because you see, some of the walls they jump, maybe I may not be able to, but that's why I was inviting you for lateral infusion. I came in at that level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another issue, security cluster. Are you guys suppressing the media over in Nkandla? What is the story now? Can we or can we not take pictures?
No, Peter, what one wants to say on this matter is that there wouldn't be any suppression of media. I think some people in the media are playing dumb. The pictures of the residents, private residence of the president has been in the media from time immemorial. We can't come now and say people should not take pictures. You will see White House, you'll be taken through 10 Downing Street and so on. But what you will never see is when the media overstep the mark and start saying, in this area there is this security feature, in that area there is this, you'll never find that anywhere else in the world. And we are saying that it can't be done in South Africa, because even your oldest democracies, such things are not done. If you are taken through at the White House, you'll see what the security want you to see, but you'll never go to the security detail.
All right, okay, but this whole Nkandla issue, this spat with the public protector hasn't been useful, and I guess for the public watching this, we're having an us against them kind of thing when you really should be working together. Should you have gone to court? The public protector says that she's sad that it went to court, and now you've got this job of trying to rebuild this relationship. And in all of this, the taxpayers paying the bill for this court case that you abandoned.
You know, Peter, we said it last week in the press briefing, that it was not our aim. We have no appetite to go in and out of court. We said that. And we have done everything to ensure that we are given more time to study 357 pages. And we did everything, including texting the public protector to say, there are security breaches in this report, which we want to be taken through on. So there was no response from there. It was the last resort from the security cluster. In fact, this whole investigation, we've been working together, including taking the public protector to Nkandla and everything else. So it wouldn't be in our interest also to have any spat with any Chapter 9 institution, including the public protector.
All right. Nkosana Mabena, table number 16. Where are you? Nkosana Mabena.
Thank you, Peter. My first question to the minister is...
Your only question.
Sorry. Unfortunately, okay.
Yeah.
As African Diaspora Forum, we are concerned about the attacks that are taking place to the migrants in the country. So my question is that what is the minister planning to do to combat these attacks, especially with the voting getting nearer and nearer, because we experience this most often when the attacks are taking place.
Okay, so how do we deal with the attacks on migrants?
Well, you would recall, Peter, in fact, we've been working with such structures as the African Diaspora Forum, that our approach in this matter is the integration of communities. And we've always asserted that South Africans are not xenophobic in nature. From time to time, there are sporadic anti-foreigner sentiment acts by members of South African public. And we have always asked South Africans to understand that much as they coexist with other people from Europe and elsewhere, they should do that with South Africans. If you go to our soccer fields and so on, you would see much tolerance there by South Africans, of players from elsewhere in Africa, which underlines this point that in some instances it's opportunistic criminality, which happen as a result of people seeing an opportunity and so on. And from our side, what we've depended mostly on is our partners on the ground, working with the police, ensuring that in particular areas there's high police visibility and so on. And that has helped prior to the 2010 FIFA World Cup and post.
All right, okay, we're going to take another quick break, and as soon as we come back, we're going to go to Joanna Masumbuka. She's got a question for you, Commissioner. All of that coming up after this.